Excited for this?
What's up, homie?
Yeah, so we're here. You can tell the audience where we're at right now.
We are in Puerto Vallarta. This is like the central hub of Quantum Collective. So this is like our retreat space. We've run 3 retreats here. We do it every 1 or 2 a year. And y'all can't see it. Maybe you can edit it in. But we've got infinity pools, we've got beaches, we're on the ocean, we've got amazing staff and food, and we're deep in the sauce.
Amazing, yeah. First time here, and I absolutely love it. I also want you to tell the people, like, what exactly do you do?
Great question. I mean, in a really simple, straight way, I'm a business coach. And I help other business coaches and online coaches create lifestyle freedom and showing them a path that I figured out through lots of trial and error. And but like really inspired and committed to helping as many people as I can live a top 5% lifestyle.
Amazing. Let's go in on that top 5% lifestyle.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to the viewers, what do you mean by the top 5% lifestyle?
Well, something like I used to be in finance, and so I've had the privilege of sitting down with well over 1,000 different families and people. I've seen every sort of financial situation you can imagine.
Yeah.
And what I realized, there's like different ways that you might define wealth, and it's not just money. But like top 5%, if you earn more than $500,000 a year, you're in the top 5% of all income earners in the world. And despite how it might look online, where everybody makes 7 figures and that's not even true.
Yeah.
And it's a small percentage. And so, number one, like as a monetary goal, it's $500,000 a year after team, after like profit in your pocket. That's the goal. But doing it in a way where you have your time and you're working with great clients, so you have great energy, and so it's and allows you to live a life of impact and have the freedom to like have your family, go travel, and do the things. And it took me like a long time to figure that out through lots of trial and error, and I can help people shorten the gap. Like you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. And mostly like I just want to build a community where we get to bring amazing, epic people to retreats like this and do the transformative work. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, love that. So what I want to get into, right? So for those of you guys, right, this guy's a killer, right? Don't let the hippie vibe fool you, right? Won the Skool Games 3 times. He's amazing. Great, right? My mentor. Love working with this guy, right? So what I want to know, right? One of the major questions that I want to start off with, right? What version of you had to die in order for you to become the new version you are right now?
Many deaths. Many deaths.
What was the most painful one?
The most painful one is like a reckoning with truth, the reckoning with truth one, where you have to get really honest about how you're showing up in the world. And for me, I had to get really honest with the idea that I cared more about money than people. Would probably be the one.
Yep.
And it's like embarrassing to even acknowledge. And it happened in the oddest of ways. I was with an ex-girlfriend who was, she was like very wealthy. And I was like, it was a short relationship, 2 months, but that was where I discovered that I couldn't even see her. I just saw that she was wealthy and that was somehow, that was good. And that relationship did not end well. And
Great story.
yeah, I went into yeah, like the most shameful, I would say, time of my life.
Yeah.
And then getting really honest and doing, like, reconciling that, I would say. And one other thing I would say about this is, like, when I was like 20, I lacked integrity. I lacked the character. I had always had big goals and big dreams. I always had good work ethic, but I lacked, like, the character and the beliefs and the traits. And my results in life sucked, but they were always reflective of where I was at with my character. And so the perpetual work, the perpetual deaths of, like, becoming the person who can build a 7-figure business, who can have a team, who can create a lifestyle, is like an ongoing, never-ending pursuit, and is the point in my perspective. And now, yeah, like you're saying, like, don't let this chill hippie fool you, because it's like, this is by design. I get to be chill because I get to create a life of ease and flow and alignment. But that's, like, 20 years of, like, grinding, learning, doing the things, being uncomfortable, dying to previous versions of myself, and learning from the greats. What is this, like, standing on the shoulders of giants?
Yeah.
That's anything I do is because I've had great mentors before me.
Yep. Yeah. Love it. And, like, you work with coaches worldwide, right? Like, I work with fitness coaches specifically. You work with different type of coaches, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to know is, another question is, what do you see has changed the most from when you first started helping coaches to where we're at today?
Man, so much. I first went, like, online in, like, 2016. I created and I was just doing money coaching. I was a financial planner in another life, and then I was like, I can't work in the system. I'm gonna do my own thing, and I had to learn online coaching. But at that time, it was like, I don't even think Instagram was really. Instagram was, like, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, the social media landscape, the noise is so loud now. And I mean, kind of exponentially, AI as there's lots of different changes, but AI is the biggest disruptor that is incomparable already. And I feel like it completely changes the foundation of everything that you're doing, and it will be unrecognizable. It's already unrecognizable.
Yeah. AI is definitely we're learning a lot about it. Gonna learn more about it tomorrow. Yeah. So it's gonna be amazing. So, there's a lot of coaches that are gonna watch this, right? And one of the biggest things is, like, in my opinion, it's like getting from 0 to 10K, right? That's, like, usually, like, the hardest, right?
Yeah.
Just really, really get in there, right?
For sure, the hardest.
So, like, right now that you've had experience, right, and you see these coaches, right, that come to our container, yours, mine, and in general, and they're struggling usually with their offer, their content, they don't feel seen.
Yep.
What advice would you give a coach that's watching this right now that wants to make it as a coach in whatever niche they are, but has no money and has no network?
Yeah, so there's, like, 3 things that you need to acquire, and it's skill sets. So the skill sets are business, like entrepreneurship. You need to learn how to sell, you need to learn how to capture attention, and you need to learn how to deliver a great experience for your client. So those are, like, skills. And then you need beliefs. So if you've only ever earned $5,000 at a job, or you have, like, if you've been an employee and now you're trying to go online, you have to recognize you do not have the mindset to be successful. You have a employee mindset. So you have to change. You have to see the world fundamentally different. And if your environment is not set up to support you in that change, then you will be drawn, you won't change. And so you won't get the result. So there's the skills, there's the beliefs, And then there's the character traits. So if you've been like, if you haven't had to be uncomfortable, really, like you had a pretty cushy life, or you had a pretty cushy paycheck, and you're like not good with being uncomfortable, or you're not good with being in the unknown, or you're not good at failing and getting back up, you're not resilient, you're not, like you don't have integrity, like there's these traits that are required that if you look at any successful person in the world, they all share, like they all leave clues.
Yeah.
And there are all traits of successful people. And actually almost all of the ones that I follow or learn from, like some of the ones is like they have high degrees of integrity, they care about people, and they usually have a belief or relationship with a higher power. And so, successful people leave clues all the time. So if you're starting from zero, like those are like overarching, you need skills, beliefs, and traits. Find the people who have those and learn from them.
Yep.
Right? And then it's like, what do I do? I think one thing you have to, if you're going to do it, don't let all of the fancy marketing fool you. Like, it takes time. So like commit to the process.
Yep.
It's not some get rich quick thing. Some people do it, but it's like a very small percentage, right? And that's why we talk about like top 5% lifestyle, like be the top 5%.
Yep.
So like do the top 5% things, get uncomfortable. And so then to get to 10K, most of the time you have an offer that isn't clear, you don't know what you're doing, and you have to get these skills. So this phase is typically, it looks like a lot of hustle or running around with it's not that streamlined.
Yep.
So basically one of the best advice that I got from a mentor of mine was like, in the beginning, or even just like if you're growing your business, if you live an interesting life and you make friends, this will help you the most.
Yep.
Going from 0 to 10K. If you live an interesting life and you share it, you'll have great content. And if you make friends, you'll have lots of, like a network, and you will do business with the people that you're friends with and you're connected with. You can do that online, you can do that offline. And if you do those two things and you are good at building relationships, you'll never have to worry about where your next dollar is going to come from or your next client's going to come from, because you're building network, you're building community.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like, 1000%. It's like, you can literally like just, Elon Musk says like, you can literally just, whatever you want to learn, like now you can just Google it. You can just YouTube it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that we have any more really a knowledge problem. We just have an action problem now. Like people like, there's just so much knowledge now.
Yeah.
Right? And that just people just are consumed by it, but they don't do anything with it, right?
Yeah.
So they're just entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
So your advice, right? So let's go a little like more specific now.
Yeah.
Right? You're a brand new coach.
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, you still have no money.
Yep.
You have no network still. You're an action taker. You're ready. You're like, fuck it, I'm in it. I want to do it now.
I see where you're
Okay.
at. All right.
How are you gonna land your first 5 high ticket clients? Go.
First thing you do is you write your, like what can you help people with? You take all your skills, you take, what are you good at? What problems are you good at solving? Write that down on a paper. Here's what I'm gonna offer. Then open up your phone. Go through every contact that's in your phone. Then open up your Facebook. Go through every contact that you're connected with a friend. Go through your Instagram, every contact that's in there. Anybody that how I would do it is I would like intuitively, like based on their profile and what I can help them with, if I feel like, yeah, like maybe I could help that person, I put them on a list. And I just build my hot list. And I would go for at least 100 names, but probably more. And these are people that I think might have a problem that I could help them with. And then first thing I would just try and get 3 people that I could help for free. And I would just send all of them a message, and I would be like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Wonder if you could give me some feedback on like this idea that I have.
I want to ask you a question about this before I lose this, because I want to get your perspective.
Yeah.
And I want to get a raw, like the Dan Harrison that I know is in there.
Yeah.
Right. What do you say to those coaches that say, I don't want to work for free though, I'm an expert?
Are you an expert? Do you have a business? We're talking like you're going from 0 to 10. Even if you were an expert in your field and you're like super educated and you've been an employee forever and you're like, yeah, I'm an expert. Oh yeah? Are you? Because you don't have a business, man. You don't have a client. You're brand new.
Yeah.
You're not an expert. So I would chop them down a bit and be like, you're not.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a proven offer. You don't have anything. You might have some skills, and you might be able to help people.
Yeah.
Great. That's the bare minimum to even start. Great. But now you don't know how, you don't have an offer that's proven. So even if you're an expert, great, that's kind of like, you should be, but you're not an expert at business.
Yep.
Because otherwise you'd have lots of money.
Yeah.
So this is, the entitlement factor, or the like, I should just be making 10 grand a month or something like you earn that.
Yeah.
And so how do you earn that? By getting clients results. So if you can't get a client a result, then you're not really an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've never done it before, then you do it for free first. And you prove to yourself and to 3 people that you can actually get them the result. And then you ask them for a testimonial or feedback. And then you use that to get the next client. So, yeah, that's kind of the...
Yeah, it's like a never just constant, just, doing it for free. Like I tell coaches, right, here, I'm going to say it in my way, right?
Yeah.
He's not saying it, right? A lot of times, you ain't shit, right? So it's kind of like in the beginning, you're just getting started, right? So you suck.
Yeah.
Right? And then you just it's like what I tell the coaches that I work with, right? In the beginning, your content is going to suck. And then over time, you're going to suck a little less. And then you're like, oh, I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
Then you're good. And then all of a sudden, you're great. Right? Yeah. But I feel like for me, right, my perspective is just coaches are just, they want to be perfect right away. And a lot of times you don't know what perfect is. So that becomes that block, right? Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give to the coach, right, that basically they just need to take action? Like they just no more mental masturbation. Like they have a good offer, it's been proven, right? But they're just like, they have like a client to 3 to 5 clients, always stuck in that number.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give that coach to really grab the bull by the horns and shake it around and get the ball rolling?
Yeah, you gotta, people won't unless the desire for what they're trying to create or the pain of their current circumstances is if you're let me put it this way, everybody has a thermostat of their comfort zone of their body weight, also their bank accounts, and it's just this is what my normal is because this is my blueprint. And if you're comfortable with 10 grand in the bank, that's your line. So you have to raise your standards, or mostly it's that you have to raise your standards of what's acceptable. So because if your comfort zone is 10 grand, what happens when your bank account goes down to 2? Holy shit, I gotta go and get to work, right? Yeah. Now you got the urgency and you go do the thing. But if your comfort zone is 10K and you're sitting at 10K, you're like, oh, I'm chill, I got some money in the bank, I'm good. But if you raise your standard and you're like, I'm uncomfortable with less than 100 grand in my bank, then the 10K becomes unbearable. You're like, oh my God, and the urgency. So it's really a process of raising your standards about not your goals, your standards. You have to make the standard the irrefutable baseline. People are always gonna oh, I want to make 100 grand. Most people won't with that mentality. But if you're 100 grand is the new baseline standard of what is acceptable, then you'll have that urgency to fulfill on it. But then the other side of this is kind of mental framing that is helpful and supportive, that I think needs to be there first. And you can do this through, because you can also force it. You can say it's tricky because sometimes they just want to shake people and like, just take the action, man.
Yeah.
But and people might do that like for a short period of time, but it often then they just revert back to like, nah, yeah, maybe. Yeah. And so this is where like the inner work I think is like very important. It's about reframing in your mind, like why is this important to you, getting clear on that, and and then basically moving towards like being really clear on what your purpose is and why you're doing it. And I think one of the best ways that a newer coach could do this is like get yourself into environments with people who think bigger than you.
It's deep.
Because you need to, if you don't do that, if you're like, you have the same homies, they all make the same money.
High school.
Yeah, and it's like, you're never going to grow outside of that fishbowl. Or you'll try and they'll pull you back down. It's like, yo, man, why are you always trying to, like, why are you trying to grow? You're making us feel uncomfortable because we ain't growing.
Yep.
And they'll try to pull you back in. So you got to, like, get yourself uncomfortable, put yourself into, invest the big money, get yourself in the room with the people who are thinking bigger, who are doing the things that you want to do. Get yourself into that room, because that'll change the language that you use, it'll change your mindset, it'll change your idea of what's possible. But if you're trying to like do something that you've never done before with old programming and old conditioning, I can shake you as much as I want, but the programming will win. So my advice to newer coaches is like, get in the room with the people that you want to be, who you want to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your environment matters a lot.
And that's like a killer advice, right? It's like, for just context for people watching, right? It's like, I was in your container, right? And then he won the Skool Games, it's Alex Hormozi, Sam Ovens competition, right? 3 times, right? The 3rd time I live in LA, and he flew down to collect a trophy to network, right? So for mine is like, I want to be in a room like that. Like, that's the room that I want to be in, right? So when I saw that he was flying into LA, I messaged him if he's going to do a meetup with the members, which I knew it wasn't going to be a lot. I knew it was mainly just going to be me or maybe somebody else. Yeah. I messaged him, I messaged Alexander, and I blew up their phone. So they're like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at this location from this time.
You drove like 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. So he gave, and it was like a couple hours before in LA, by the way, for those of you guys that know, by the airport. So it's traffic, right? And I literally was doing something. So the point of that is like, I drove there, I met with them, and now I've been working with them ever since, right? I made it my mission to like be in a room like that, right? So that's like the importance of what he's saying.
Now we're gonna win Skool Games again.
4P, and I'm happy that you brought that up, right? Because I purposely didn't ask you this question, right? Because I wanted to get on camera, right? Because we have a lot of people that watch your videos, that watch Hormozi videos, right? I watch so much Hormozi videos, right? You've been around him, right?
Yeah.
What are some things that you can let them know how he is off camera?
He's a bro, man. He's a dude. So he's low key, he's chill. I mean, that's probably, he's consistent. Like how he shows up online is like how he is in person, I would say. But the thing that, like at the Skool Games, right, and getting to spend time with him is being surrounded by greats can save you so much time.
Yep.
So like, he has done so many reps, and he's seen so many businesses, and he has context for what will work and what won't, and he knows what question to ask to immediately be like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it that way? And can just cut through bullshit so quickly, and isn't like, sometimes he might come across like cold or like hustle, like you gotta, volume, hustle, grind, but there's so much truth in that. And like, I'm a woo dude, Like I'm like, I'm chill, I'm manifesting my dream life. But somebody said it here, it's like there's the woo and the do, and you need both. And Alex Hormozi is just like, well, I know how to get the result. And in order to get the result, you have to do the certain things. And there's not that many things that get the result.
Yep.
And so he's just simplified the whole process. And when you're in person with him, just like any in-person event or getting yourself to LA where we were, is like you shrink the amount of time that it will take for you to learn the lesson or become the version of you that is required to hit the goal. Mm-hmm. So I spent one day with Hormozi, and it's like with 3 questions, he can shift the entire trajectory of my business. Cut that piece out, simplify this model, and choose a more clear avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then do more. And a lot of people, especially new coaches, grossly underestimate what it actually takes to be successful. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna post a couple times and make 10 grand a month. It's like, fuck no. Go talk to 100 people every day. Go create 100 minutes of content every day. Go spend $100 on ads every single day. Go comment on and engage with other people every single day for an entire 5 years. Most people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah, I have this, and I love that, right? It's like, I have this theory, right? And I'd love to get your opinion on it, right? I believe in my heart that it's actually never been easier to be a successful coach, right? It's because you got so much knowledge, right? Like, here's a crazy thing, right? And like, this is where, I want people to get this, right? Like, I'm like in your free community, right? You literally have a video, step by step, 0 to 10K.
Yep.
It does not get any easier. Here's the other beauty about it. And I think people don't frame it this way, right? It's like, this phone that's using to be recorded, I can grab it, turn it to me, hit record, create an ad on the beach, maybe boost it not, whatever, right? And it potentially make me thousands of dollars off of one person be like, hey, I saw your video.
Right.
So to bring it back in the Dan Harrison way, to zoom out, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you agree or disagree?
It's 100% never been easier. We have access to technology. We have access, like, for free. ChatGPT, $20. The information is all there. It's never been easier, in some regards, and it's also never been harder. And so you're like, well, what's the difference? And I think it comes down to one of the biggest problems that exists. And the people who can solve this problem for themselves will be successful. And that is focus. I would say that focus is the core problem or challenge that most coaches, they're distracted. And so they don't have clarity on what their goal even is. Like, they don't even know what they're going towards. They're like, oh, I kind of want that. And then there's like, maybe I should do that ad thing, but maybe I should also do LinkedIn, but maybe I should also do this thing. Maybe I should also, I don't know, like, I saw this one video over here, and so there's also just no persistent focus on any one thing long enough to actually see the result.
Yes.
And so pick your lane, understand the 4 or 5 things that need to get done. Like, what, basically, if you're a new coach and you want to get to 10K per month, you should, like, fuck everything else. The only thing that you should be focused on is growing your audience, getting people to raise their hands and say, like, yep, I can help you. Starting chat conversations and getting on calls and making offers. That's it. Create the content, get people onto calls, make offers. That's it.
That's simple.
And choose which ones is most aligned for you. If you like LinkedIn, I don't like LinkedIn. It's weird over there. Feels like a cubicle for social media. Like, you're like, Like everybody is in their cubicles or something. So like choose your game and then hey, Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby. It's okay, Gabby. That's Gabby. That's she's politely telling us to wrap it up. But I love that, right? So, final thing I want you to leave the viewers with, right, is just 60 seconds. Give them advice, whatever it is you want to give them. Leave them with. This is going to be dropped to all coaches worldwide. And like, what advice would you want to give them right now?
Change the target of like what you're pursuing. If you're pursuing some monetary goal of like I want to make the 10 or the 20 or the $50,000 a month, shift that to I'm becoming the person who can build a life of my dream or who can create those things. If the target is just on the money and not on the process of becoming, you might not sustain it long enough to actually realize the goal. But if you reframe the point of building a business, of being an entrepreneur, is to become the highest version of yourself and to develop the skills and the character traits and the beliefs of somebody who can make an impact in the world, and that becomes the game, then that's a never-ending, infinite game. And you'll be able to play that long enough to experience the financial rewards that happen as a result of becoming that version of you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, it's been a pleasure, homie.
Yeah.
Wanted to really jam about this. Instagram, the Dan Harrison.
The Dan
Hey,
Harrison.
I will warn you though, once you follow him, your mom, your dad are gonna get retargeted on those ads.
That's
Because
true.
my parents get retargeted on his ads. So follow the Dan Harrison. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, let's do it.